What's up everyone, Dr. Grant here, Change the Game Golf Performance. Want to talk to you about ground force, all right, ground reaction force, and why it's important in your swing. A lot of people have an understanding now, thankfully, that a lot of their swing is going to come from the stability that they have from the ground and from the force that they put into the ground. A lot of people don't understand though what that means. What does it mean to actually apply force into the ground? With physics, you have equal and opposite reactions with forces, if you will. So if I push into this object, that object's going to push back into me. If we push into the ground's going to equally have to push back up on us. And so it's really a squatting kind of motion, almost like a jumping kind of motion, vertical force that you're going to need to have to truly have that ground reaction force that you're going to need for speed. Combining the right forces, we have three: horizontal, rotational, and vertical. Combining the three together in you're going to be probably biased towards two of them. Typically, they pair together. But if you can have a relatively equal amount of distribution of vertical, horizontal, and rotational, it's going to make for a very beautiful swing, effortless swing. And it's going to save you from a lot of injuries too, provided that you have enough mobility and stability. So that's actually a thing with Will Zalatoris. A big thing with his injury with the herniated discs was actually the result of not getting off of that right leg enough into his left. He did it a lot later than a lot of players do. And he produced a lot of force and a lot of speed. It's a motor pattern, or coordination, you could call it. He spent too much time over here and pushed off a little too late, which requires compensations to happen, where he had a little bit too much excessive spine tilt, which, have you not been like chasing after that at some point in your golf journey, right? I got to get a little bit more side bend to compress the ball to get the club on plane. Well, that's a recipe for disaster for most people. If you get the ground force right, so vertical is going to be this motion, right? You're probably familiar with seeing guys like Rory. They're here, they're squatting down and then exploding up. A lot of the long drive guys are going to have their feet open up. That's a combination with the rotary force. Horizontal force is going to allow you to push from side to side. That's where Will Zalatoris had a big issue. It's the timing in which you make that transition to your lead side. The rotary, think of how you're going to perform like a little 180 jump. That is rotational force through the ground. Early extension, a lot of these swing faults are going to result from poor force mechanics, if you will, into the ground. So to clean up your sequencing, take a different approach. See if you work from the ground up, that helps clear up that sequencing or the order in which your body moves in your swing. It may have a really good impact on it, but it may not. You might need to actually start working on things like mobility, flexibility, strength, and coordination. You work on those 4 and power. 5 things. Shoe wear. 6 things. Shoe wear is really important. Believe it or not, too much cushion in the shoe is going to allow you to, it won't allow you to produce as much force into the ground and vice versa. So you actually might lose speed because you're wearing comfortable shoes on the course. Take that in note. I can talk more about that if you want. With all these different factors, what do you have to do? Well, each person's unique in how they move. Each person has a different movement pattern. And so that would require like one-on-one to see like what you actually are struggling with and what you're good at. Because what you're good at, we want to continue to make you better at it. But then what you're not so good at, we want to kind of tease into that as well to see how can we flesh that out and get you more optimized in those movements. But you also may have a hip that doesn't want to rotate. Well, if that's the case, you're going to be looking at injury potential, and we don't want that to happen. So with all that being said, if you want to know more about ground reaction force, if you want me to cover more things like this, if you want me to cover more mobility topics, flexibility, injury topics, let me know. I'd be more than happy to do those things. But in the future ahead, leave a comment below of what you'd like to see, and please give a thumbs up, subscribe, and if you need any one-on-one help and assistance with your golf game, let us know, because we're here to change the game. And that's not just metaphorically, that's literally, we are changing people's games day in and day out, lower scores, enjoying the game of golf a lot more. And that's what we want for you. So until next time, let's change the game.